Hey, what's going on, YouTube family? I'm back again. My name is Mark, where I like talking all things music in my own personal series, Mark Under the Microscope, where I give you an inside look as to who I am as a person through inspirational and motivational vlogging. So if you like things like that, please remember to slash that like button and annihilate that subscribe button and hit that post notification bell. I drop videos like this every Monday and Friday and every day in between. And also, leave me comments down below. I love interacting with you guys. I also do subscriber requests, so huge shout out to my subscribers out there. I love you guys because without you, there would be no me and there would be no channel. But I think I've talked enough, so let's just jump straight into these videos. Let's go.
Come. Somehow I just knew you'd find me. Not knowing where I was or when I was coming back sent you crazy. I kept my spies on you.
Oh wow, I can already sense this is about to be a deep track. Come on, church, I'm ready for you to just go off. I don't know if you're gonna sing or if you're gonna rap, but I'm prepared for it, bro.
If I die and you forget my name, I won't cast no shadow, I won't throw no shade.
Come on!
If I never get to walk along no hall of fame, it won't bother me none, because I'm in my own lane with my own sound.
Come on! Hold on. I love that. I thought that was so brilliant, church, the way you sat there and just eased it in. Like it was almost like you were sitting. This was like a prelude. Like it was like if you were open a book and you were sitting there, like I feel like you're about to sit here and tell us a story about your life and let us inside your head and inside your heart and in your soul to bear your character and just let everyone know what has transpired within your life. I love how you sat there and did that. This was very dope. It was like an introduction of how you eased in. I'm gonna take that back.
If I die and you forget my name, I won't cast no shadow, I won't throw no shade.
Come on!
If I never get to walk along no hall of fame, it won't bother me none, because I'm in my own lane with my own sound, with my own book, with my own money, with my own cars, with my own bars, with my own trucks, with my own house, with my own chick. I don't want nothing to y'all. If I'm saying that, with the numbers I got, they say takes big balls, the big wigs see me, and I might fuck a proposition up for myself as a nobody dude coming up from Tennessee. Cause they talk like I'm a fucking idiot and they can give me a life I can't get on my own. But I don't want the life that these airheads live, but I guess I can't get it through that thick ass tongue. Only here.
Come on!
I wanted to name a race from the song that I did with Luke Cole, cause I don't want him labeled as a racist in the song Outlaw doesn't fit his image at all. So if you look on YouTube and the same damn song, his name got erased about 8 months ago, and I was worried if I didn't take his name off the label that he signed, I was gonna come sue me, bro.
Come on!
Nothing, I just brushed it off. I was always taught to let bullshit go. So can you get an outlaw after I'm gone? I'm not sure, but hopefully so.
I like that. I gotta pause that again. I like that because I love how he's sitting there touching upon, like, it seems like from what I'm getting so far, like, I feel like church is sitting here letting us know how he's sitting there saying that I didn't have nobody to sit there and help me reach the top. Everything that I got, I've sat there and I've worked for and I've strived for and I've reached for because of me. My success is predicated to me and I owe it to me because I'm the one who got myself here. I'm the one who worked my ass off to get myself to be at the position that I am, to sit here and be successful and to sit at the top of my game and to sit here and be able to share myself with my fans and just regular GP, the general public. I love everything about the way that this song is, where it's taking me. It's giving me Empty Grave. It's giving me No One type of vibes. I love how he's able to sit here and connect and have this introspective but also outrospective type of view of himself, where it feels like his subconscious is stepping outside of himself, and he's sitting there actually talking and telling a story about his own life, if that sits there and makes sense. Like, I love how he sits there and paints the imagery within my head, where I don't need a visual to sit there and capture the true essence of what church is trying to sit there and say. He is phenomenal at painting a story for you. Like, that is amazing. Let's take that back.
Look on YouTube and the same damn song, his name got erased about 8 months ago. And I was worried if I didn't take his name off the label that he signed, I was gonna come sue me, bro. But I never said nothing, I just brushed it off. I was always taught to let bullshit go. Can you get an outlaw after I'm gone? I'm not sure, but hopefully so. If I die and you forget my name, I won't cast no shadow, I won't throw no shade. And if I never get to walk along the Hall of Fame,
Come on.
it won't bother me none, because I'm in my own lane. Full of black rubber and spray paint, the smell of muscle cars and trucks with old leaks. Shot steels running way high on the ridge. I know where they're all at, but I ain't no sneak.
Ooh, come on.
Gas pieces, how you end up wrecked, laying up in the ditch. And motherfuckers don't get it, but they single me out for being too damn real, cause I ain't a sellout.
Come on, tell him.
Cash in your pocket, you can be recycled, but never ever me. I'm the only church man, sipping Jack on the Sunday. A bad motherfucker, hope God forgives me. What am I saying? Every angel falls. God made whiskey and the weed in my palm. And he gave me the soda pour off of my songs to feed off of the emotion I stay dragging along. So with that being said, when I get to the gates, I need a murder out, Chevy with no tailgate.
Woo.
But I guess I can't get it through that thick ass throat. Sony hit me up and said they wanted the name erased from the song that I did with Luke Combs. Cause I don't want him labeled as a racist, and the song Outlaw doesn't fit his image at all. So if you look on YouTube and the same damn song, his name got erased about 8 months ago. And I was worried if I didn't take his name off the label that he signed, I was gonna come sue me, bro. But I never said nothing, I just brushed it off. I was always taught to let bullshit go.
Come on.
Outlaw after I'm gone, I'm not sure, but hopefully so. If I die and you forget my name, I won't cast no shadow, I won't throw no shade. And if I never get to walk along the Hall of Fame, it won't bother me none, because I'm in my own lane. Spray paint, the smell of muscle cars and trucks with old leaks. Shot steels running way high on the ridge. I know where they're all at, but I ain't no sneak.
Tell him.
Involved in the weak ass pictures, how you end up wrecked, laying up in the ditch. And motherfuckers don't get it, but they single me out for being too damn real, cause I ain't a sellout.
Come on, tell him.
Cash in your pocket, you can be recycled, but never ever me. I'm the only church man, sipping Jack on the Sunday. A bad motherfucker, hope God forgives me. Hell, what am I saying? Every angel falls. God made whiskey and the weed in my palm. And he gave me the soda pour off of my songs to feed off of the emotion I stay dragging along. So with that being said, when I get to the gates, I need a burned out Chevy with a no tailgate. A bottle of the devil's cut and a limited tank. A gasoline so clean like I possibly drank. Spit flames from my fan base and my last name underground king. And I ain't even talking about my grave. Talking about the legacy I leave laying up in my state. The man who never gave his heart to be a fucking fake.
Woo. Come on.
Die and you forget my name, I won't cast no shadow, I won't throw no shade. And if I never get to walk along the Hall of Fame, it won't bother me none, because I'm in my own lane.
Ooh, I like that. 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 That was amazing. I like that. So I quickly want to sit here and talk about Upchurch with My Own Lane. I love this track. I put it right up there, like I said, with my favorites, Empty Grave and No One. I love this because I love the emotional connection and the emotional draw and his connection to the lyrics and the words. I also love the versatility that Church showed on this track too, of sitting there showcasing his vocals and just reminding you that he can sit there and sing and rap, so don't get it twisted. I love that. I thought that that was so brilliant of Church to sit there and do. But let's jump into the content and the character of this song. I love it because of the simple fact of the imagery that it painted into my head. One thing I could sit here and say, and what I'm sitting here learning from reacting to Upchurch, and now that I'm becoming such a huge fan of his, is that he's an amazing storyteller. And like I sit there and like a lot of the songs, and even with his freestyles, you don't need a visual and from basically him to sit there and they be able to sit there and paint a picture. I feel like he's a Picasso with his pen, to be able to sit there and paint within your head like this image of what you think he's sitting there thinking about. If he was to sit there and come out with a visual aesthetic for his videos, what I love about this is because the visual aesthetic that I'm getting of, like, if it was me, of what I'm thinking of, if he was to sit here and do a music video, I would sit there and think that he would sit there and have somebody playing his parents back in Tennessee, back in the country, in the rural area that he's from in Tennessee. I can't remember the town. Somebody has to let me know in the comments below. But I'm thinking about, I think it's outside of Nashville if I'm not mistaken. But it kind of reminds me, if I was sitting here thinking, I'm thinking about something of like the image in my head that I'm being painted is like, it's like a stormy night. It's like thunderstorms, like, and all you see is like it's real pitch dark black, and you see the thunderstorm, and he's a child sitting there like in the middle of his living room floor, maybe playing with toys, and he's showing his progression as a child into being a toddler, into being a young boy, into being a teenager, and then growing into a man. Like, I love how this song basically paints a picture and an image of progression and coming into manhood, it seems like to me, and him sitting there talking about him being in his own lane and sitting there talking about how he had to sit there and basically fight for everything he has to sit there and come to get, and that it's never been handed to him, and he's never had a silver spoon in his mouth. And that's what I love about him as an artist, because he's able to relate to a lot of people, because like that's what a lot of people are within Americans. We come from lower class, and like, to me personally, I took a class within African American Studies, which is where one of my BA degrees is in African American Studies, where we talked about the black middle class, and we sat there and talked about how there's not really a middle class within America. There's a low class, and then you have the rich, and then there's like a huge drop off, like a gap in between. Like, there's really no middle class within American society. You're either rich or you're basically trying to make it. And I sit there and kind of feel like that's in a way where he was kind of touching upon about like how we live within this society of like, where like 90% of us within America, our American dream is to sit there and work hard and strive and fight to sit there and come out of the destitute that we are often succumb to, and to make the best out of the situations that we come to, so we can make it into that top 10%, to sit there and be able to live this life that we're comfortable with. And it doesn't have to be a life of luxury, but it has to be a life that's comfortable for us, and that we can say, damn, I sat there and made it. And I sit here and I get that from this song with My Own Lane, that he's sitting there reflecting upon his life. And like I said, with the imagery and the visuals that he painted within my head, that he can sit there and be like, yo, looking back at this song, like, I'm assuming like right now it says it was uploaded a year ago, so I'm assuming that he's like 1 year later, like he can sit there and physically say like, damn, look where I came from as a child, and look where I am now, and I can stand tall and be proud of the man that I am now, seeing where I've come from, and to see who I am now, and to see that I worked for everything that I had to, and it never was handed to me. I don't have to sit there and say I sold myself to the industry. I don't have to sit there and say I sold myself to any other person around me, to sit there and be like a yes man or anything. I worked hard, and I'm content and confident within myself to say that I sat there and made it. I love it. I thought Church did an absolutely phenomenal job with this. And it's crazy because it's like I feel like every song that I sit there and react to, it's like I feel like I learned something new about Church, and it just draws that connection with me more as a fan of his to sit there and be like, damn, like it's like we may not have come from the same place. He comes from Tennessee, I come from New York City, but I could sit there and turn to him and be like, damn, we have that connection. We can sit there and be on that playing field because yeah, you came from this life and yeah, I came from this life, but we could come together, and him being a white American male and me being a black American male and sitting there seeing the differences that we have, but we can sit there and come together as one and sit there and be like, yo, you have struggles, I have struggles, but yet we can sit there and connect in that type of way. And I love that he sits there and bridges that gap, that he sits there and says, like, he can sit there and say, yo, like, I mean, I may have came from this place, you might come from the inner city, but yeah, I still struggle too. So don't think that just because of this that I didn't struggle. And I like that. And it kind of opens your eyes to that. And I just think that that's phenomenal and dope, because a lot of times your judgment often gets skewed and swayed, that you think that people don't come from certain situations, or you think that they always had it easy. But it's like it almost levels everything out to be able to sit there and have that connection and that bond with that person. And I definitely love that about Church. And I love how he sits there, and I feel like it's like a quote that I always think about. I say things to start the discussion, never to be right. And I feel like every time he approaches a track, I feel like he does it to start the discussion, but I don't feel like he does it to do it to be right. I just feel like he does it to start the discussion so we can all come together and come to a commonality and become one. And I love that about him. And I think that's what this My Own Lane track showed. And it shows that he's sitting there saying, I'm a different type of cat, I'm a different type of breed, I'm a different type of beast, I'm a different type of animal. I didn't succumb to what everybody else wanted me to be. I didn't succumb to what the industry wanted me to be. Coming up, I didn't have to sacrifice or sell my soul to be that sacrificial lamb to sit there and be who I want to be. I'm content in who I am, and I'm comfortable with that. I love that. I thought that was super dope, so amazing, and I thought this was a phenomenal job, and I thought it was amazing, and I love this track. And honestly, I can't even say if My Own Lane, Empty Grave, or No One is my favorite right now, because they're like 1A, like 1A and a half. Like, for me, like, this is amazing because I love the vulnerability, the sensitivity, the connection that he was able to draw with the lyrics, the emotional connection he was able to bring through the lyrics, and the versatility that he was able to bring with singing and rapping. And I felt his hunger and his pain on his track. And I also want to make mention before I end this, I love how I thought of like a roller coaster. You know how when you're like on a roller coaster and you're easing up, and then you sit there and drop down and take off and go upside down and go like through the loops? Like, that's how I felt when he sat there and started off this track, and where he sat there and was easing us in, which I said it reminded me of a prelude and like an introduction to everything, of like a story, like if you were to open up a book, like an autobiography. And I love that because it was almost like it was building anticipation, and then right when that beat dropped, he just took off. It was like almost like if you go to Darien Lake and you were to get on a Superman, you know how it creeps up and it goes up and it goes up the incline, and then it just swoops down and starts going real fast. That's how I feel like he sat there and did it. He built the anticipation so perfectly and so well, and I thought that this was a phenomenal song. It was amazing. I loved it. I loved the imagery he painted. I loved how I thought like I could sit here and see that I felt like he was back in his hometown within Tennessee, and he was with wherever he was, like in a living room floor, reflecting on his life, looking at his subconscious of a man sitting there looking at the young boy he was, the teenage boy he was, the young child he was, to the man that he is, like, and just seeing his, like, maybe his family in the background, and just maybe just some industry people. Like, I just love how that imagery was able to be painted within my head, like that visual. Like, I know that this would have came out with a dope video and dope concept, and I love how he sat there and pieced together the pictures and everything with him, because I think that gave an added element as well. But with that being said, I'm gonna end the video right there. Please remember to be safe out there. Remember to stay awesome, be awesome, because you guys are all awesome. This is your boy Mark, and I'm signing off. Deuces. Peace.
They need rappers like me. They need rappers like me, so they can get on their fucking keyboards and make me the bad guy, Chung Lee. Hey, yo, I've been on.